So the CDC came out with a statistic and a warning recently on the mRNA vaccines. They said that young males between the ages of, I believe it was 12 and 40, and the reason that sticks out is because I seen those two numbers somewhere else and it stuck in my head. Any case, young males between the ages of 12 and 40 could basically end up with myocarditis or pericarditis after their first or second poke with the jab. It's a possible side effect. And those two numbers, 12 and 40, stuck out. And it was from an Australian broadcast where they were studying the increase, or at least they were talking about the study on the increase of heart attacks. And there's been a 30% jump in heart attacks in young males between the ages of 12 and 40. Now, is there a connection there? I'm not wearing a tinfoil hat, obviously. But I'm also not sponsored by Pfizer. So I have to wonder, a 30% increase in heart attacks in an age bracket that's not supposed to get fucking heart attacks. Don't you see that as kind of an issue that maybe should be addressed? Now look, my heart breaks for the families out there who got their teenage boys vaccinated and then had heart attacks and died. Right? Had nothing to do with the vaccine. Just pure unlucky happenstance, right? My heart breaks for them because I don't think they were trying to be reckless. I think that they just believed that the government and big corporations had their best interest at heart. They weren't thinking about money or CYA. No. They are there for you. Joe Biden loves you. I think they were duped, but, that's I'm not one to stand on the graves of the dead and mock. I didn't mock Ruth Bader Ginsburg when she died, and I didn't like it when people mocked Scalia when he died. People die. Leave that shit alone. My only point in bringing it up is this: I think we should take a look back in the rearview mirror at the 52 car pileup behind us, right? The shit we just did over the last couple of years. And maybe come to the conclusion or come to the agreement as a society that we shouldn't do that shit again. We should not trust big pharma and the government to look out for us again, right? I think we all know, at least if we're honest, that the government lies constantly about everything. JFK, don't worry, we'll tell you about it in 50 years. I think we should just acknowledge that the government is dishonest. We know they're liars, so don't trust liars, right? Now, there's the other side of that, which is the people who are rabid for the government, depending on who's in, right? If their guy's in, then the government can do no wrong. If their guy's not in, then, Nazis are coming to push grandma off a cliff and put black people back in chains, yada, yada, yada. There were studies by Rasmussen that showed that a large majority of people of a certain political demographic were all for arresting people for not getting the shot, all for removing children by force from families that didn't wear masks and get the shots. At the behest of, Chris Cuomo and his fucking butt-slapping grandma murdering brother? Because Rachel Maddow told you? Or Sean Hannity? Or whoever else? Look, I think it's safe to say that there's probably some connection. Now, is it a total connection? Is it 100% of the problem? No. But like everything else, when the government lies, you have to question. And if you don't question, you're a fool. Yeah, I think that's all I got on that. It's a depressing topic. 30% increase in heart attack deaths among mainly teenagers and people in their 20s. That's crazy. That's crazy. People think the government cares about them. If the government cared, look at it like this. This is the last thing I'll say. If the government cared about you, okay, they just spent $113 billion on my Ukraine. Right? Now I know everyone feels bad for my Ukraine. The Azov Battalion are the good guys now. My Ukraine is great. Right? A president who plays the dong with his piano and arrests priests and arrests his political rivals. That's democracy. I got it. Ukraine, great. Russia, bad. Putin, bad. They're right up there with Orange Man. I get it. But they spent $113 billion prolonging a war that should have ended naturally. Russia should have swept in and did what it did. It's none of our fucking business. To put that dollar amount in perspective for you, I think somewhere around $88 billion is the sum total of delinquent medical debt in the United States. $88 billion. You could pay the medical debts, the delinquent medical debts of cancer patients, diabetes patients, fucking people who need all kinds of horrible fucking treatments to survive, preemies, all kinds of shit, man. For $88 billion, you could pay for all of that delinquent debt and have money left over. Instead, they decided to, plush out the pockets of Northrop Grumman to prolong a war that should have ended. And that could lead to a thermonuclear war with Russia backed into a corner and China now coming to their aid. But they care about you. What benefit, honestly, be objective, what benefit do you have if Russia is or is not in Ukraine? Can most of you find Ukraine on a fucking map? I doubt it. I doubt it. But we're gonna keep going with this until we're sending our fucking kids over there to fight a war that does not matter to us. It is none of our business. It's a European problem. Let Europe deal with Europe's problems. We don't need to be involved in European problems. I know you're gonna sit back to Hitler, World War II. Yeah, I get that. Putin's crazy. He's not Hitler. All right. Trump is Hitler.